Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today I'm with two very special guests, Murcii Miller and the one and only Bentley Browning. How's it going, guys?
What's up?
What's poppin'?
Hey, I love those guys' outfits right now. Your hair is fire, man. And then I like your bandana you got on and sunglasses and the grills. It's fire.
Oh man, yeah, my eyes sensitive, you know.
Yes. It's that supposedly like all the computer lights and the phone lights are bad for your eyes. That blue light shit, you know?
Yeah, I got my shit. I got my shit on the warm mode, that one that turns orange like later in the day and shit.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
I know. I'm guilty of it. But I love watching like TV and movies at night. But supposedly you're not supposed to have all the lights off because just staring at that TV like fucks with your eyes later on. But
Yeah, it's bad for your retina or whatever.
yeah,
It's true.
for sure.
Keeps you up too. Keeps you up.
Yes.
Facts.
But we're here for your guys' new album release, Lily of the Valley. That shit was fire. And something that I thought was really interesting is because every artist wants to be like, yeah, man, I have a song for the club, song for the ladies, song for the homies. And then you guys took it to a whole other level. That album is like such a genre bending album, man. You guys got rock songs, EDM, straight rap. Like, I'll start with Bentley. What was your guys' inspiration for all that?
Man, so we actually drove out to like the buttfuck of nowhere, like in Eugene, Oregon, just to like get out of all the noise in like, you know, the city and shit, just to get the inspiration for it. And we came up with the title Lily of the Valley. We were sitting at a bar or whatever, just brainstorming. And it's Lily of the Valley is like a poisonous flower. And so the concept of the album was basically like shit that you love to do, you love to be around, you love to have in your life, but is bad for you, you know? And so it was pretty much just about like a negative lifestyle that we've both been through. And so that's kind of where the concept came from.
Wow, that's dope. What are your opinions on all that, Murcii?
Yeah. I'm just like, when Bentley was hitting me and we were deciding on doing this record together, it was like I just wanted to get out of my like normal space, like this is my studio or whatever. But like I just took like 80% of the shit that I got in here, like this whole rack over here and all of that. We put it in the car and we went to Eugene and whatnot, and just cooked for like 5 days in an Airbnb, and that's pretty much like how the main outline of the whole album came together. But yeah.
Wow. So Bentley, how do you guys decide to do like a joint album together? That's sometimes like a relationship at that point, doing like a whole committed album together. That can be difficult for some people.
Yeah, honestly, like we've been friends for many years. I think I met Jay when I was like 16 or something. And I know he has been doing features for people, and I was just like, hey bro, like, you know, let's take it to the next level. And I had been quiet for a minute, so we both kind of needed a jump start together, and it just made sense. Like we both needed a reason to get back out and putting stuff out for ourselves. And so since we were, you know, I would record at his studio, whatnot, like, you know, we were very close as friends already. So it just kind of made sense to fuck around and do it. We kind of didn't know how it would work because our styles are like solo are really different, but it all worked out like expeditiously. So it was crazy.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I think those are the best albums when like you have two people who sound completely different, like a Jay-Z and a Kanye type deal, you know? Like that shit was fire. The guys, I like how like you came with melodic in and then Murcii would just like boom, boom, boom. Like you guys brought different aspects to the table, and I really thought that was amazing. It was like, and also I like how like short and straight to the point the album was too, you know? Like some people are trying to put like 20 songs on an album, and it's just like, come on. Like some people really like Lil Uzi Vert, and like some people enjoyed that he had so many songs because he's been gone for a while. But for me, I was like, oh shit, that was too much, you know?
I think kind of depends on like the vibe of the album and the concept. Like I can listen to some albums that are like, you know, 20, 30 songs like through all the way. Some of them just get redundant, and it's like, you know.
For sure. So Murcii, what made you decide to like, you know, be like a major feature on people's albums and songs and stuff like that?
Yeah, I work with a lot of artists in Seattle and in the studio and whatnot, and I really just started rapping solo probably about 8 or 9 months ago now. So like I've been in groups and stuff my whole life, but like yeah, I mean I haven't been featuring like on a bunch of people's stuff. Realistically, I just like met Bentley, like he said when he was like how old you said? How old was that?
Yeah. I think it was like
It was like
16.
16, yeah. Because I mean, fuck yeah, I was at your 21st birthday. I remember, so that shit's crazy. But the night was lit as fuck. But 16, right? So I heard him. I was just like, bro, you're hella dope, and like I just it wasn't a joke or anything, but it was just like something I never really thought we'd end up really doing until like way down the line. But I just was like, you're sick. We should do a tape someday. And I thought I was just producing it because like
Mm,
I produce mainly. And when he hit me and we decided we're gonna go do it, like I didn't really know until like the day we were about to leave, like the day before we were about to leave, that like I was gonna rap on it. Actually, I thought I was just producing it and it was gonna be for him because like the the feature stuff he was mentioning was like me producing it and then other people rapping on it or like having features for my Qreepz stuff because like I go by Qreepz as my producer shit.
mm.
But yeah, so that's what it was. I thought I was gonna go on the trip and make beats, and then like it was gonna be a tape where I produced the whole thing, and it was like all Bentley. But then like he was like, "No, I mean like you're gonna rap on it," and I was like, "What?"
Mm.
I was like, "All right, well shit."
And
Switch gears, and then it came out.
and it seems like you guys, when it comes to like music, you guys have a pretty solid relationship. Like I enjoy albums and beats that like kind of revolve around the artist's voice and what they're saying. Like when like if Bentley changed up his flow, the song would change up also. You know, like if he got more gravelly, like the beat would kind of get more gravelly. Was that all intentional?
Yeah, so like we pretty much wrote to like bare bones shit, and then like I stripped down all the instrumental or anything that we decided we were like. Sometimes it would just be drums, sometimes it would just be keys, or maybe we'd find a beat from where the fuck ever, and then like I would just delete the beat and like it would just have our acapella, and then
Mm,
we would create around it. So I was able to like add elements that you couldn't really get out of
mm.
just rapping like to a beat like or whatever.
Yeah, the whole trip was actually like a crazy experience. There's a actually a couple verses from both of us that we just fucking freestyled, and it turned out to be fire enough to put on the album. We just ran with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
this was an exciting album. What made you, Bentley? What made you decide to have you done an album with anyone before, where it's just like one solid producer, or what made you decide that he was going to be the producer for this specific album?
Uh, Qreepz pretty much makes most of my shit regardless. He's like my favorite producer that I work with, so it was obvious choice. And this is my first album, and like because of our relationship, there was pretty much no other choice to like I had to do with bro first, you know.
Yes. So how long ago was this that you guys went on this road trip?
Whew.
About a
Man,
year and a half probably now.
yeah.
Wow, that's
The album's been done for like 8 9 months. Like almost, it's been done for like 8 or 9 months, but we're waiting on album art seriously for like
mm.
9 months.
So what is it? Do you think it was purposeful to release it during this quarantine, or like would you have still released it during this time if there wasn't a quarantine right now?
I think
Yeah,
it was kind of just like a Hail Mary.
yeah. It was gonna come out. Like I mean, I couldn't hold on to it for much longer.
Mm,
I was like,
Hmm.
we got to do this thing. Like we got it. We just had to do it. Like we had a lot of life situations in between go down.
mm.
Um, so like it put it on hold, and like having two people have like whole lifestyles and like I'm in between a lot of projects too at the same time. So
Makes
it was
sense.
just really hard to concentrate on it, but not concentrate on it, but like making sure that like I wanted to make sure that when we did release it, I had the right bandwidth. You know what I mean?
For sure.
To make sure I did it right.
So Bentley, do you guys kind of see yourselves as like a run the jewels type group now, or was this kind of just like a one and done type deal, or what do you guys think about that?
No, so we're both solo artists, but we're very close. So we work together a lot. It's more like oof, I wouldn't even know how to compare it. um, we both do our own thing, but we cross paths like a lot. So
For sure. How'd you go about choosing your artist, Bentley, for the features?
Scotty Bahama, when I met him, I was a huge fan of him. And he was actually he was one of my old roommates, so we became very close. I won't do a project probably like without him unless I have no features on it. Tasia, she's the big homegirl. You know, she's fucking phenomenal. She's a huge inspiration for me in very many ways. She is one of the biggest artists I know personally, and I respect. I love her. And then Adam Nystrom is actually the first artist I ever met in the Seattle scene when I started going to shows and rapping and whatnot and taking it more seriously.
Hmm.
So they're the three people who were kind of most important to my growth early on.
So when did you guys decide who you're going to have? Because you said there's certain people that you always want to work with, but how do you decide what song was going to fit for which artist and things like that?
It was just organic, you know, like the whole process of the whole album was just organic. And I mean, like, I think Tasia just, or Teza Talks was at the house, like while we were working on some like more vocals and stuff, and we're just turning up, and then, you know, it just was like, you know, right place, right time. Yeah.
Hmm.
She just laid it down. And then I remember Scotty, I FaceTimed him while we were at the Airbnb making the record. And me and him had actually talked about this certain sample, and it sounded like that. So I got him on that ASAP. And then with Adam, it was the same kind of deal. We got him on FaceTime and his drummer Ian. So we just kind of laid out the idea, and it was good to go.
Hmm. So Bentley, was it always a kind of a goal to make like a rock song and an EDM song, songs like that, or did it just all come naturally? Or
Honestly, I hate EDM. I hate it. Like it's not my vibe. But I've always kind of wanted to make certain kind of songs like it, and that's kind of because of Tasia. Tasia Talks is, like I said, one of my biggest inspirations. So I kind of wanted to do something like that in my own style. And then the rock songs, Lil Peep is one of my favorite artists, RIP. So, and I've worked with Fish and Arc in the studio. So it was kind of something I've also wanted to branch out and do.
that's dope. Like I keep saying this, man. That was a really exciting album to listen to. Like I liked your album cover. How'd you come up with the album cover, by the way? I'll start with Murcii. I'll start with you on that. What were your ideas behind that?
What is this dude Adrian? He goes by Handicap Shooter. I think that's how he pronounces it. But his IG is like HND Handicap, yeah, HNDI, like, and then CAP, and then Shooter. On IG, all one word. But so I had liked a lot of his work that I've seen, some of his art he's done, and so I proposed it to Bentley. I was like, "Yo, we should probably have this dude do it." And so it took me a while to get around to like looking at a bunch of different artists, and then, but yeah, we pretty much just like the Lily of the Valley. It was we got a edit from the first one, and it looked good, but he really amped it up the second round with like the flowers and getting the hands and shit in there that are on there, and like it encompasses the whole mood. There's like graveyard like texture in the background, like, you know, stuff. It's just dope. Like it reminded me of just like what the trip felt like, you know.
For sure. So Bentley, I'll ask. This will be a question for both you guys. What are your guys' goals for this album? I'll start with you, Bentley.
The goals is mainly it was kind of to get my motivation jump started again, because I used to put out a lot of music, but I had been really quiet for like almost like a year, 2 years now. And so this is kind of like something to encourage me to start putting out more music, because I record all the time, but um I got weird confidence issues sometimes with putting shit out. So it's just kind of like a fuck it, like I just need to do it. Like my music's dope, people like it. but I always kind of overthink the bullshit. So
Hmm.
that's kind of what it was for me. And then honestly, like I think this album was like phenomenal. Like it's some of the best fucking shit that I think either of us have done, especially together. So
Yeah, man, it was dope. What about you, Murcii?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying my hand at the business side, like fully, because like I said, I've been in groups and bands and stuff for a long time. So like, I'm really just taking this album and not guinea pigging it, but like definitely taking this record and like trying to see how I operate within the business world as a solo artist. Even though it's a group effort, it's both. Like you said, we're solo artists, so that the album's on both of our pages. It's not a group, you know. So being able to literally like figure out how to for hip hop, because there's not a lot of outlets for like hip hop unless you're like up here or like down here, you know. It's like barely in the middle, like middle ground areas. There's a couple spots or whatever where they like blog
Hmm.
or they have YouTube channels with like hip hop artists that are like up and coming, like middle ground. It's like it's rare to there's like a couple, and then they're usually controlled by people who like they only put certain people on, and you know what I'm saying. It's not like there's like hundreds of EDM blogs where you can submit music and sign it through labels and
Hmm.
all of that. So I'm really just trying my hand at like ClickFunnels and like trying to figure out playlisting for like hip hop that's not like over the line, you know. Like I mean, you can't look at a lyrical lemonade is something that you would think is a spot for like up and coming artists, but it's like they're not going that deep into the underground to find certain people. They're like, I mean, maybe in the beginning, but
Got to have
it's
that one hit.
yeah, you got to have I mean, or you got to know somebody or work with somebody that like internet money or like you know get a Cole Bennett video or something. Not saying that like it's not attainable, but good luck getting them to even open an email most of the time if you don't know anybody. So I'm really just trying to do my job to find out what where an artist that comes from our level or thousands of other artists' level that I know even probably you know that level and see where they can be placed and start to see like because I hear a lot of artists that I work with, they're running into dead ends. They don't know how to get on shit. There's no playlists for them. There's no support for YouTube blogs or whatever. But I just want to find those outlets, and like I'm gonna do my job this time to figure it out instead of like hear everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see for myself, and then so this album I just plan to like instead of going for that one big blog or that one YouTube playlist or Spotify playlist or whatever is like I'm gonna get like 500 little ones and do the same thing, and I think it'll work for us.
And I'm happy that I can help you guys with this promotion and stuff like that. Like, my goal is to be a breakfast club mixed with like the Joe Rogan of Seattle. You know, I want to help everyone. I never want people to feel like they can't reach out to me. And I try to be very diverse with this podcast. Like right before you guys, I had a solo drummer on. You know, so it ranges from hairstylists who are traveling to freaking full-on bands to solo drummers to artists and hip hop duos. Like I want to help everyone. Like no one should feel like they're too big or too small. And a thing that I've started to notice is even when it comes to big artists or older artists in the industry, like a CeeLo Green or like a Goody Mob, sometimes they even feel like their voice isn't heard anymore because of all these newer artists. An artist that I recently interviewed right before the quarantine was Marky Basie, who's worked with like Ty Dolla $ign and Mozzie and all those type of guys. And like he's huge right now, and he's still not in the interview. He was kind of feeling that he doesn't have a voice yet. So like you always hear about like the Drakes or the Kanyes having a voice, but even like the artists that we might like that have a name, you don't hear enough about them. So it's my goal to help everyone get a voice, no matter how big or how small. So Bentley, how do you navigate the Seattle music scene right now?
Man, I honestly I kind of keep to myself. I have a very select few people that I'm like outside of music really close with. And I'm not honestly like I'm kind of an introvert. I don't really like make friends too easily, so I'm kind of awkward when I'm like trying to get around. But I fuck with Blackheart Gang, then Keyshawn and shit, like Macintosh, Taser, fucking Alter, shout out Steven. and I kind of just, you know, do my own thing. I don't really try to feature too much. Shout out Diamante, you know, and I don't know. I don't really navigate it, honestly. I just kind of free fall. Like I'm not, you know, I don't got like a huge plan or nothing. I'm just doing my thing.
So you don't have like specific goals when it comes to like music? Like, is there
Well,
like a
I have goals, but you know, it's kind of like, you know, spray and pray, you know.
yeah,
I have like I want to like I used to do a lot of shows. I want to kind of get back into that when this whole virus kind of dies down. Um, honestly, I want to make as much music as I can because the kind of music that, you know, I like to write is very diverse. I like to do all sorts of noise, you know. It's not one very specific style. Um, but as far as that goes, like I just kind of want to help feed the family, you know.
Bro, and the way I feel about that dude is like, you're an artist and I'm an artist, and there are hella artists out here that just need to be artists. It's fucked up that they have to do 10, 20 jobs. That's my whole point about what I was trying to say is like, we need to have outlets where we don't have to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like we can still have opportunity, whether not we, but like that's like my end of it is like business, but a lot of people aren't strong on that end. Then they shouldn't get overlooked because they don't have an infrastructure and a whole ass team together. Like there should be a better way where they can get heard still. You know what I mean? Like there's people like Six Dogs who have like a big fan base, but like until like only fucking 5 months ago he had no posts on his IG. He had like nothing. And like, you know, some people call them plants. Like certain people, they'll be like, oh yeah, like Baby Goth or whatever, like call her a plant because she came out of nowhere and has hella streams and shit. But like, I just think that's because there's a team behind her doing a lot of stuff. And we could be, there's got to be a way you can bridge the gap where you can like, you know, like be an artist. You don't have to do all 5 jobs, you know, be your own marketing, be your own everything. Like, I don't know. I mean, they're already trying to do that with like apps and stuff. Like, you know, like they got it to where like you can master your own shit through a computer service, which I think is terrible. But at the same time, you know, it's like it's good for people who don't have the money to get mastering done and don't have the know-how to learn it themselves. They can still have a comparable product that's not like going to make them look extremely shitty. Like I think that artists deserve that too. Like some people just need to be able to create art. And it just sucks that there are artists who will like die never doing anything they wanted to because they like aren't computer savvy.
yeah.
And it's just, I mean, like I know that's ridiculous or whatever to say. Like it might be taboo or unpopular opinion, but I don't think every artist should have to wear all 5 hats. I think that's unhealthy for artists.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think for me at least, I always tell people outsourcing is kind of a thing of the past. As much as you can manage it, and like for me, I could always just go on Anchor for podcasting and have them distribute everything. But I manage all my social media, all my different platforms, so I know I pick and choose everything. I'm selective of who I have on my podcast, but I want to give everyone a voice. So it's the thing that I'm starting to run into, which I think is important for people to realize too, is like I work with like I try to work with like the small artists, medium artists, and big artists. And with the small artists and the medium artists, it's kind of easier. It's kind of easy to say, oh yeah, you just have to connect and go do those local shows. But after a while, you've been doing those local shows for a few years, and then what, you know? So I think you guys are getting to the point that you're like, what's the next step after that? And I think that's where people need to start connecting and brainstorming on that. And I think having a media outlet is important for that too, though, you know? So that's why I'm trying to help with that. What do you guys think you need though for those middle tier artists that are trying to get up farther? Like, what do you guys need? I'll start with you, Bentley.
Oh man, I don't like you mean like what like advice for like other artists or
Like, what are you guys looking for like that? What do you think that Seattle hasn't offered to you guys that you guys think should be offered or created?
honestly, I think Seattle's an abundance of talent. There's nothing you can't strive for in this city. I do think it is extremely clicky, but I don't know what to say about that. Like, you know, like if you keep to yourself, get along with everybody, there shouldn't be any problems. It's just, but like, you know, it's people hang out with certain, you know, collectives like they kind of keep to themselves.
Hmm.
And I wish it was people were more open minded about, you know, people that they low key like, but they don't want to support until they're like blown up. Um, but other than that, I think this city is great for the music scene. There are a lot of other big cities that wish they had what Seattle has, and I think that people in the city do take it for granted.
Right.
So,
Do you think that collectives might start hitting a brick wall though if they don't connect with other artists, or do you think?
I think it's a weakness, but they're only going to go so far with the same people, the same crowd following them.
Hmm,
Like, you branch out, it gives you new ideas, it gives you new inspiration, it gives a whole untapped well of you know music, or like shows, like club, like people who throw toe jam, like if they're starting to collab with other party throwing collectives, like they went out to Oakland, like et cetera, et cetera. Like they brought out Larry June, they're doing some cool shit.
hmm,
It's like, but then you have collectives who are more like to themselves. It limits their growth.
for sure.
And I think, like, if people would just like reach out, not be so pussyfooting about, like, oh, like, I don't know this guy, like, oh, like low key hating, what I'm saying? Like, fuck all that noise. Like,
For sure.
show love, you get love.
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. I think Seattle offers like hella opportunity. It's just hard to get on there, like based on who's curating that month, or whoever who's the host that year.
Hmm,
That's the only difference. Like, but we have hella opportunities. There's like hella opportunities, like mad venues you can play at. Just pay the room rent and bring people, and then you'll be all right. And then like KXP, I know people are it's hard to get on there or whatever, but like again, it just depends on who's curating and who's the hosts. Like, if they don't like you personally, or they maybe saw something you said on Facebook or Twitter that they don't like, maybe they won't play your shit, like, or whatever. Like, that's just politics in general. But like, as far as what Seattle has to offer, there's hella. It's just who's in charge of each branch of the thing, whether you'll get on board or not. And you know, they you gotta shake hands and you gotta meet people, like, to like, you know, for anything. I mean, like, for anything worth having, you're gonna have to like do something. But I mean, on the other hand, all I'm saying realistically is that you focusing online is more important than any of that, I think.
hmm. Yeah, you definitely have to have some sort of clear goal, or at least one overlying goal, but it can't be I want to be famous. If you're going to be an artist, it has to be a specific goal, but it can be general in a sense, but it can't be as general as I want to be famous. You need to have steps that you're going to take to get to these certain goals. Because you can be famous by freaking slipping on a banana peel and putting that on YouTube. So there's different layers, and like being viral is not always going to make you that money that you need if you want to support your family and actually be passionate about what you're doing. So I think connecting is very important, but having outlets like this where you can actually express your opinions, because then people are like, oh, people are actually thinking that, then I can actually talk to them. So I think that's important for you guys to open up about things like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think just with this album, like, we just want to just focus on like the next move, like, is probably going to just be doing YouTube ads for some of the visual content that we have. Possible music video coming soon. Just do like MailChimp hits to all our fans. I got a nice little email list of people that have been following Qreepz and stuff, and I try to like have all my collaborations and stuff like on both ends of that spectrum. So
Mm.
just hit like news releases, news updates through MailChimp and shit, and then probably try some Submit Hub submissions, see what we can get out of that. And just hit up hella blogs and publications. So submit like the record to see if we can get playlisted. Fat list of playlists on Spotify we'd like to get on
Mm.
as well. But other than that, yeah, just try to funnel all these fans and like people who listen to our shit. Try to get them funneled into an infrastructure where we can have our own website and they can come visit us just in case Spotify gets shut down or something. We'll still have like their contacts. Nothing worse than like when SoundCloud was talking about closing down, and all these people had built so much, but there's no way to keep track of the fans that they had that whole time. So that's just the goal for this.
Yeah, man, you need to have backup plans. I think that's important for you to say, like, what are you going to do if SoundCloud does shut down? Yeah, that's interesting. How are you guys managing through the coronavirus right now? Are you guys quarantining yourselves? Are you trying to work in the studios at all, or how does that work? And I see that you have a whole setup behind you, Murcii. So
Yeah, studio. I'm still doing sessions and stuff, but we wear masks and shit. I got like fucking all kind of. I got N95s. I got like all kind of shit around here. But yeah, pretty much we all wear masks in here or bandana, and then you can take it off when you get in the booth and record. And then I just sanitize the booth between artists, and we're still getting it done. We're still getting the music done. Like I've been saying, like I'm gonna go down with the ship, so I don't give a fuck. This is what it is. Like I don't mind. I don't mind dying for this shit, and like if it requires for me to like still as safe as possible. Like I'm not like fuck the coronavirus. And it doesn't matter. Like we wear masks, we wash our hands. I clean the doorknobs. All that. Like we try to breathe on each other. We're 6 foot, but like the art still has to get done, and I don't mind getting sick and dying of coronavirus because I fucking helped artists get like whatever art they could get out during this time. But I'm pretty safe anyway. I'm not really worried about it. I'm pretty strong. I'm pretty sure I'll fight it off.
did you guys hear about Fred the Godson dying yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Yep.
Yeah. So how are you managing through this, Bentley?
Man, like Murcii said, like the trick is just to not be a goddamn asshole. Like keep your distance. Don't be breathing on people and shit. Like it's funny. Like I'm a smoker, so like I'd be coughing a lot and like out in public, like fucking people be giving me that dirty eye and shit. I'm just like, bro, I swear to God, it's just the weed. But I'm still out here making money. Like I still got the 9 to 5. I'm working and shit. And then keeping the art going. Like honestly, that's just therapy. Like I don't do it for anybody else but me. Like if I didn't do it, I go crazy. So I'm doing what I can do, to keep that moving. But I refuse to die or to be scared of dying for living. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna not be a jerk off, and I'm gonna follow like the guidelines and shit. But I'm not like scared of getting sick.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, what is some advice that you guys have for up and coming Seattle artists, creators, influencers? I'll start with you, Murcii.
Go to shows. If you want shows, go to shows and see artists that are playing, and then get used to who's in the scene. Because a lot of people, they are like, how do I get shows or whatever? They're not sure how, but it's because they don't go to any. So you got to start going to shows. And then, like I said, just ask the talent booker or ask whoever's managing the venue. You can ask, hey, what's your room rent? And usually, like, depending on where you want to go, like play somewhere small, like Crocodile Back Bar or like Rendezvous or like Barboza. If you can get a good lineup together, like, getting shows really just start getting acquainted with like who's playing, and then try to hop on bills with other people and try to make friends with them. Or if you don't want to do any of that, just pay the room rent and book whoever you want to book, and then just make sure you fill it so they don't take you as a joke next time. Because money talks. You don't have to have any following. You don't have to have shit. If you just pay a room rent, if you pay for the room fee, you should be good. But you got to prove yourself though. You can't not bring people to that show though. Like try to do your best at that, and then wash your hands.
For sure. What about you, Bentley?
Man, invest in yourself. You can't just think you're the dopest rapper and expect to get results. Like you're gonna lose money. It's an investment. Yourself, your life, your career. It's an investment. You got to go the long way, or you're gonna go no way. So don't be scared. Hit the high dive, do some flips off the board, whatever. But like you're gonna have to take risks, and you're not gonna see results every single time, but that's what growth is about. Like you're gonna grow, you're gonna learn from your mistakes, you're gonna get bigger, you're gonna get stronger, You're gonna know more what to do. Follow people that you trust. You know, like learn from their mistakes, learn from their success. Don't be jealous, cause that's some fuck nigga shit.
For sure. Well, I love sitting down with you guys. I hope we can meet in person after this quarantine. Like I said, your guys' album was fire. You guys are both dope individuals. Like even though I met Bentley for only literally 10 to 15 minutes, he left an impression on me, and that's why I wanted to reach out to you guys. You guys are dope. And
Thank you, man. You too, bro. You got a great personality for this shit, bro. I would love to see you fucking hit your Joe Rogan experience for Seattle.
Thank you, man. Well, at the end of this, I always say this is the NAST podcast. Then you guys say your names. So this is the NAST podcast, and I'll start with Murcii and then go with Bentley. This is the NAST podcast with
Murcii Miller.
I'm Bentley, baby.
Awesome. And one more thing, what is the easiest way to reach you guys? Start with you, Murcii.
Just my Instagram. You can follow me at just Murcii Miller on Instagram, Murcii Miller on Instagram, or Qreepz, Qreepz.
Awesome.
Yeah, and for me, it's _ Bentley Browning _ That's _ BENTLEY BROWNING _ nigga.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and stay safe.